Personally, how this Shuangzi is actually a great counter.
5 marks possible, stacking on top of each other with damage being dealt over and over again. So interesting thought process. I like what I see from Leo Esports. Now, can they get the advantage? That's going to be huge in getting the game in their favor.
Yes, absolutely. But just as it is tried and tested, we are seeing both the supports up into the mid lane, just trying to get a little bit of an advantage here with the first minion wave. It's looking like a bit of a faster clear here for Leo Esports, just so they can try and free up themselves, maybe to rotate into another lane, try and pick up an early first blood against the JPKR region team.
Yeah, Panda here going to try and work down on the first sprite. Will get it. So this is advantage to the mid laner of Leo Esports.
Yep, so we see the Shuangzi is going down into the farm lane to give some assistance to Momo here. We know that the Lady Sun needs all of that resources possible because she is a late game hero. So as soon as you get those items and itemizations are on the roll, as we see the attack speed boots come through for Lady Sun as well, just trying to quicken up those attack speeds, trying to make sure that she can claim those last hits on the minions.
Yep, for sure. If we take a look at the itemization, Musashi actually doing well for himself. But here we go, maybe first fight of the game.
Yeah, Tenya looking pretty deep in there. He's able to flash over the wall, though, so that may just open up a kill here for Musashi. Musashi gets the knock-up as well, so first blood does go over to GDG as well, because the CC immunity is not quite there yet for Shuangzi because they don't have level 4.
Yep. Doc here actually gives him the knockdown, and that's going to be a huge start for the side of GDG. I mean, we really prefer the draft on the side of Leo Esports, but it also comes down to the execution. Kite looking for an entry point, not going to be able to find one just yet, and GDG, they hold on to their lead.
Yeah, I mean, the counter for the Musashi, for the Shuangzi, kind of relies on that level 4, so maybe a little bit overzealous with the engage into the farm lane that we saw just for Leo Esports. They could have just waited a little time, get into level 4, and maybe we wouldn't have seen the first blood just yet. But 2 minutes in, we see that GGUL Gaming is able to get that first blood, and they're looking for some more in this farm lane as well. A 3v2, trying to push these minions. Not quite doing enough damage onto the T1 yet because the shielding is still up.
Yeah, and you know, finally you see the value of 10 years mortar here. Just laying down the cannon blast, it's really hard to deal with. At the same time, it's very disruptive. And this is going to force down Momo to go back into the base to get the heals, which means he's probably going to miss one wave altogether.
Yeah, I mean, for a hero like Lady Sun, it's going to be pretty detrimental, especially in this early game, as we are trying to get the itemization. Lung and Mutsu are there, trying to put some more pressure on, just to make sure that they don't leave that T1, trying to keep sure that the minion wave is mitigated as well, so it doesn't quite meet this middle of the lane as it is right now, because they're going to try and look for priority on either of these teams. The Blazing Brilliance looking to clear up the minion wave on the side of Leo Esports, but they really want to try and gain some dominance here into the farm lane because of the neutral objective coming through in 30 seconds. Lung having to fly up and use the ultimate to stay alive from the Ogryn.
Yep, they want to try and burn down the ultimates, right? So they have an entry point. But at this point, it just opens up the space for Doc to go in and get the steals onto the jungle on the side of Leo Esports. Now, this is going to, negatively affect the farm on the side of Leo Esports, and they're still trailing by about 1,000 gold.
Yes, so not a lot to write home about just yet with only at 1k, but here we are. We see that Panda and Kite have made their way to the bottom side of the map, but we have Doc in the bush, and they do call that out. They go to the phase check, but it's Ogryn checking it with his face, and there we go. GDG getting the kill onto the board there as they're trying to take this neutral objective. All 5 members of the team of GGUL Gaming are here at the turret, and they're not going to be able to claim it from Leo Esports.
Yeah, putting the death in the duel to the death. This is Doc's game for sure. In the starting moments of the game, 4.5 minutes in, they still maintain that 1,000 gold lead, but take a look at where that gold is being funneled into. Now, 3.1 thousand gold in his bank account. He does have the energy core as well.
Yes, Doc Gaming actually putting a lot of resources onto the Musashi, which is going to be needed because if you take these later game initiations, you want to be tanky, you want to have that burning cape to obviously deal with any HP regen as well. But here we are, we get another kill for GDG in the farm lane, so that already puts them up by another 2k gold difference, and they're looking to try and assault this T1 as well. We have Lady Jen rotating around as well as Leo, Panda Leo, and obviously Kite as well, trying to stop that T1 takedown, but Panda is met their maker.
Yep, a very, very clear understanding of what resources they're left with on the side of Leo Esports. Is this a mistake here? 3-on-1.
Yep, Orgren against the world, it seems, but Chuangzu and Lady Sun are on the way to rotate around. The T1 is looking pretty low as well, so is Orgren. They take the T1, so there's nowhere to run, and there we go. Lung taking the bait, but flies up into the air, so he is safe. That is Jun doing a fantastic job down in the farm lane, whilst we see Status looking to push this T1 in the mid lane, claiming it already, almost at 6 minutes.
Yep, that's a lot of kills going over to the side of GDG. 5 kills may not seem like a lot, but at this stage of the game, it's plenty and bountiful. Right now, look at the rotations going in. The debuff is no longer existent for the side of GDG. Now, the choice is, do we want to get a kill or do we want to get a neutral objective?
Yep, they've got to be quite careful on the side of Leo Esports because they've already been pushed back to the T2s in the mid lane and the farm lane, so they have less room to have safety. Their safe spaces are surely but slowly being depleted here. We have Lian Po, Orgren, and Zhuangsu, and Angela all onto this mid lane as well. Just hoping for some sort of engage and hoping for some positive outcomes for the engages on the side of Leo Esports, but nothing has actually come to fruition yet.
Yeah, and if you take a look at how GDG is itemizing for this fight, it's really scary because they already have the anti-heal properties with the Venomous Staff coming in from Cliché. So every fight at this point is not going to be looking too good for Leo Esports. Oh, hang on!
From Jun as well, gets the kill onto Zhuangsu. It is all pretty much over here for this team of Leo Esports. They're at the T1, but is it going to be enough for them?
Ouch!
Oh, Lady Jen coming in with the ultimate Musashi into the back of the line, taking down Angela as well. That's T2. The higher ground turret is the last thing standing between GGG, and the front lines of that crystal.
Yep, and Momo, you can see, is practically exposed at this point because Godless cannot tank through any of the damage. Hasaki does not have enough sustainability and damage to fight against Status, and worst of all, Kite is unable to man fight in a 1v2, 1v3 situations simply because of the Venomous Staff.
Yeah, it's kind of like a direct consequence of you losing those T1 turrets, right? Is the fact that Kite doesn't really have much safety to roam in. He doesn't know if they're going to be hiding in the bush, just like here that we see from Tenya as well. Think inside the box, come through, tries to lock down the Orgren before he goes over the wall, but Doc getting another kill onto Orgren, really showing that the Orgren pick really meets its maker when the Sashi comes out on the gorge here. So again, jungle down, 2 seconds until the next tyrant comes up. We'll probably see that GGUL Gaming are going to try and take another neutral objective, but also try and take this T1. They have a minion there. Probably going to last long. Got to wait for the next minion wave to come through.
Yep, and very, very clinical, methodical funneling of resources here. The two top members on the side of GDG that have the most amount of gold are both Doc and Jun, the main damage dealers, the people that go into the fights. And this is a tough, hard situation for Leo Esports.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a Lung and a Musashi on the team, that's where you want to be putting all your resources into, because at the end of the day, you know the Doc is going to be that main initiator. We have the Tenya on the Motsu trying to set up those plays with the Cannon Blast. And then obviously Lung, we know, is a late game hero that just gets better with that itemization. It's getting so much damage, gets the second Tyrant as well, so he's going to have the increased damage from the second Tyrant of the game. We see that the Venomous Staff comes through through for Motsu as well, so that's going to try and alleviate some of that HP regen. I mean, it's not causing an issue right now for GGUL Gaming as they go into these interactions, but it could be something for them. There we go, Lung picking up another kill onto the Angela. It looks like Auburn going to meet the Maker again. There goes down. Lady Chen taken out, but then we see they finally get the first kill on the board for Leo Esports.
Yep, it doesn't matter. It is a nice sacrifice to have for the trade they're about to make. That's 2 tier 3s taken out in a matter of seconds. At this point, GDG already leading by 10,000 gold, and this is a painful one for the side of Leo Esports to experience, but they're not done just yet. GDG, they're still looking for much more at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a horizon point of gold difference, I'd say that 10k is definitely it, because you're going to be trying to take team fights to try and regain some of that difference in the gold. But when all the itemization's going over to the side of GGUL Gaming right now, it's kind of hard to kind of make sure that you're able to navigate these team fights in a way that's going to actually benefit you, especially when we've got all the neutral objectives so far of this map 1 going over to GGUL Gaming.
Yep, at this point, you know, there is a lot of shielding effects coming in from the butterfly effect, but they aren't able to capitalize on it because they don't have enough damage. There is a lot of tankiness coming out, burning capes across the board for the side of Leo Esports, but at this point, they need a lot more than that. A lot of damage is going to come from Momo, but the moment Godless dies, Momo is open for the taking.
Yeah, there's been some questionable cannon blast here from Tenya, but that was not one of them, landing onto the Angela, almost dying as well. The higher ground turret into the farm lane is looking for a takedown here for GGUL Gaming, but that is not it. Down goes Kite as well, and we have the Blazing Brilliance come through to try and put some pressure onto the side of GGUL Gaming, but it's not going to be enough. The Vanguards are at the Crystal. Game 1 going to GGUL Gaming.